How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Letting everybody come on in. And we're going to get ready to get this show started. Thank y'all for tuning in this evening. And we got a very, very big show coming in for you. We're going to have a lot of fun. So let's, without any further ado, kick this bad boy off right now.
Let's get Titans up. Titans up. I've been stalking from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage. So I'm busting y'all. Welcome to Nashville. We got this hit. Go live back. We got this hit.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Let's do it again.
Titans up. Titans up. I've been stalking from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage. So I'm busting y'all. Welcome to Nashville. We got this hit. Go live back. We got this hit. We just see the soul. Out your lap. Go live back. See, we got this hit. It's a brand new dancing. It's about to go live. Tighten up. Nashville. Record 615. First you tighten 2 steps, step to the right. Then you tighten 2 steps to the left. Blue jerseys everywhere. Things crazy, yeah, we got it all. Sticking out our chest. People loaded like it's King Kong. Count that. It's about to get her up. Here come the train, y'all. Tennessee, tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Sticking out my chest. We can know it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest. We can know it like it's King Kong. Tighten 2 steps to the right. Then you tighten 2 steps to the left. Sticking out my chest. We can know it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest. We can know it like it's King Kong. Third down, come around, we about to shut down.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody doing? Welcome into a brand new edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we're going to have a very good episode for you on this evening. There's quite a bit to get to. There's quite a bit to talk about. There's quite a bit of news going on about our Tennessee Titans. And first thing we want you to do is just to make sure that y'all share this show out. There's an arrow button. Make sure y'all share it out to everybody. Let everybody know that we're here, that we are live in this thing, and we are going to make it happen. I'm just putting a little pillow behind me, to make sure I'm nice and comfy and everything. I see P. Hicks is in. What's going on? AZ Mick, what's up? LGRW, what's going on? We definitely going to talk about Lamar Jackson. Jameson coming on in here. So glad everybody could join us, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. Welcome into the show, and we're going to have a very, very good time indeed. Talking about the Tennessee Titans, we got everything we're talking about as far as the comments made by Lamar Jackson. He's basically talking about, the game that they lost to us. Also, I'm going to try to see if I can pull up the clip with Mike Keith talking about the Tennessee Titans. I might be able to pull that up a little bit as well. And, of course, as I mentioned in the caption, Adam Rank is at it again. He is at it again and just finds another way to try to disrespect the Tennessee Titans yet again. And I'm going to let y'all, unfortunately, hear probably those 3 minutes that probably none of us will be able to get back. But I want y'all to hear it out anyway, and then we can all bash on that later. But Make sure y'all share the show out as y'all see on the bottom ticker. You make sure you follow on TNT Enforcers page on Instagram at Titans_N_Truth, as well as on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. Of course, we got a lot of big things that are going to be coming up around the bend. A lot of things are going to be coming up very soon. Miss Margarita, hola, señorita. ¿Cómo estás? Welcome into the show and everything. So let's get into the TNT news of the week. And I see Derek Roberts is in there as well. Let's get into the TNT news of the week. And first off, let's start with the Lamar Jackson comments. He was on a load management podcast, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say yesterday. And basically he comes out and says, he basically came out and said, you know what? We overlooked the Titans. We were, they surprised us. They that we, they weren't expecting what happened to them to happen to them. So the first thing I take from that is, so y'all were looking ahead. Y'all just, the way that the game was going, it just seemed like the way it was going, the way Earl Thomas was talking trash, and y'all remember, go back to episode 120. And y'all heard me talking about the trash that the Ravens were talking. They were talking trash, talking about, we definitely go tackle Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry ran all over them. And you could tell the frustration with Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson had a pretty decent game, but, they went for it on fourth down a couple of times, couldn't get it. And, it wasn't just that the Ravens got outplayed. John Harbaugh, got out coached, got thoroughly out coached. So, the fact that they're making excuses saying we caught them by surprise, or they were overlooking us, or they were not, they were looking ahead. You got to understand, even in the regular season, you don't look ahead to any opponent. You can't look ahead. And that's why they got beat. They didn't come in focused, ready to play us. You hearing Earl Thomas talk about, I'm going to take a vet day. And y'all been off almost 3 weeks. So that told me right there, their heads were not in that game. We were. And you could tell through it, and I've said it 100 times already, you could tell throughout the offseason, they're scared of us. They are scared of us. That's why they built their entire offseason around trying to stop us. Stopping Derrick Henry is their top priority above anything else. And even if they try to do all that, they will fail again. We'll see what happens as time goes on, getting up to that matchup. But Derrick Henry is poised to run all over them again. You could get Calais Campbell, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, all of them, and, C.J. Mosley, Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis. You can get them all on that defense. Derrick Henry still going to run around and through that defense. So it doesn't really matter. Excuses, it lead to nothingness. Excuses are just the tools of the incompetent. So, don't make excuses saying we were overlooking the Titans and things like that. Lamar, just say you got beat by a better team. Just say the Titans were a better team than us. That's all you have to say. Just admit it. You'll feel much better when you do that. So that's about that on that. And Parrish, you're absolutely right. We sure go see him November 22nd. And it's probably going to be the same way because a lot of people are overlooking us again in some of these early predictions that I've seen. A lot of people just think, well, there's no way the Titans can do it twice. And just think the Ravens are going to run us over again. Any given Sunday. Have any of you national pundits learned that yet? I guess not. But they'll learn very soon enough. AZ Mix said Lamar wanted to cry during the game. You could tell he was ticked off. You could tell like he could not, and I think a lot of the Ravens players were like that. They could not believe what was happening. They thought they were maybe in a nightmare or in the Twilight Zone or something like that. They could not believe the game that was happening. So that's that on that. Let's see. Ms. Marguerite says, everyone overlooked us. Let them keep overlooking us. That's when we play our best. Absolutely. Mr. Titan. What's up, Mr. Titan? Welcome in. Says, shout out to Dean Pease for executing a great game plan. And he did. He executed that game plan to perfection. The players did a great job with that. Now, that is something that we are definitely going to miss. And Jameson said, I guess Lamar Jackson will remember the Titans. He better. He better. So, definitely shout out to DPs on his well-deserved retirement with that. But that was one thing that definitely happened. Now, some other good news that happened, and I'm going to try to see how long I can play this. Mike Keith was on NFL Network yesterday. And I'm going to try to see if I can pull up the video. Maybe you can hear him a little bit. If not, it's on my Facebook page. I will share it to the group page in just a minute. So I'm going to try to see if I can pull up just a little bit. Let's see how long the video is.
But I wouldn't rule the Titans out in this. No.
All right.
So here it is.
Man, they were fun to watch last year. Mike Keith is always fun to listen to as well, especially when Derrick Henry is just running over dudes, like here with the stiff arm of the postseason on Earl Thomas. Derrick Henry led the league in rushing, 409. If you include the postseason, and we have to, 409 touches. And here he is, Mike Keith, the voice of those Titans, joining us. Good to see you, Mike, on NFL Now. It's kind of a dilemma here, isn't it, with Derrick Henry? Not to pay him. Get to that in a second. But Arthur Smith came out, the OC, a couple of weeks ago and said, maybe we should spread the ball around. I mean, 400 touches, you kind of have to give the guy a break a little bit. Yet, Mike, he is the engine that ran that truck last year.
It clearly is the engine, Andrew. And I think when push comes to shove, they want to have him as available and as healthy as possible in key situations to feed him the football. But the Titans do have a lot of options. Maybe the best overall offense for this team in 16 years, 17 years we're talking about. And so I think Arthur Smith, who returns his entire coaching staff on that side of the ball, and the offense, which returns all but one starter, is going to be more versatile than it has been in the past. But when push comes to shove, Derrick Henry is going to do the pushing and shoving.
And Darrington Evans is there as well. He could maybe lessen the load a little bit. Henry has that franchise tag at $10 million. Mike, running backs, it's tough to pay him. And you have to factor in the 400 touches. Do we think there is a number there, a middle ground, where they will get a long-term deal done?
I think there's optimism because both sides have continued to be very positive publicly. And, these situations, when they happen, if it's not going well, it generally turns somehow, particularly on the player's side. Derrick wants to be here. He's very comfortable in Nashville. He loves Arthur Smith's offense. He likes playing behind this offensive line. Everything fits well for him here, and he's a very smart, logical guy in terms of how he understands the football. Also, he knows he's going to make $10 million. That's not bad money considering that his first 4 years he was playing on a second-round draft picks contract. So it's not all bad for Henry in that scenario, but we've got a month to go. Talks continue, and it feels like there's still room to put something together. I think people remain optimistic.
Now, that was, of course, our very own, the voice of the Tennessee Titans, the great legend himself, Mr. Mike Keith, on NFL Now with Andrew Siciliano on the NFL Network. Basically, of course, there has been word talking about Derrick Henry's contract with a month to go because, of course, we have passed June 15th, which there's a month left to get him signed to a long-term deal. Now, Derrick Henry's already signed his franchise tag, so that's one thing. But you could tell with Mike Keith that he seems very optimistic that a deal can get done, that talks have continued and things like that. Now, does that put possibly getting Jadeveon Clowney at the door? Don't know. We'll have to see how that contract tends to work itself out, which I think Derrick Henry will get a contract, but hopefully not at the highest number where it kills them later. But Derrick Henry does deserve to get paid. At the same time, you got to be logical when it comes to running back contracts. When running backs tend to get big money, they tend to die out very quickly. We already saw that back in 2006, 2007, 2008 with Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson did all that whining and complaining, won a big contract, and as soon as he got the money, his play completely took a nosedive. It took a nosedive. He was afraid to get hit. He was acting like he was scared. He was scared to play ball after that, after he got his big money. Todd Gurley, same thing. Todd Gurley does well, gets the big money, all of a sudden can't stay healthy. Now he got cut and is in Atlanta now. Zeke, same thing. Got the big money. Next thing you know, he didn't have a very good season this past year. Now, Christian McCaffrey is now the highest paid running back in the league, and well-deservedly. He is a actual 3-down running back that not only had 1,000 yards rushing, but 1,000 yards receiving as well. Excuse me. And could have made All-Pro at 2 positions. He could have made All-Pro at running back and receiver the way that he did. So that's something to, keep an eye on with that. Does a Derrick Henry deal get done? I think it does, but it's probably not going to be at the high number that maybe Derrick Henry is envisioning or anything like that. But at the same time, if the Titans don't re-sign, get him to a long-term deal, and let's say they franchise tag him again next year, which they could do, I mean, it'll be about a 20% raise. So instead of it being 10.2, it's probably going to go up to about maybe 12.2, 12.4 or something like that, which I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm fine with giving him a second franchise tag and you give him $12 million. I'm perfectly good with that. That is absolutely perfectly fine to me. So I want to get y'all thoughts. From a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you the Tennessee Titans will get a Derrick Henry extension done before July 15th? 1 being, it's not going to happen. Might as well prepare to franchise tag him again next year. Or, well, no, better yet, 1 being, it's not going to happen. They're just going to let him walk after this year. 10 being, it's a done deal. It's going to happen. So I want to see from 1 to 10, what are your thoughts on Derrick Henry getting an extension done? We're looking back at some other comments. AZ Mix said Earl Thomas helped block for us, which he did. LGRW said Derrick Henry turned Earl Thomas from a possible Hall of Famer and all-time great to a meme. I have seen some memes with that, though. Jameson says King Henry made all those rappers pay for all that noise they talked. And they did talk a lot of noise, so well-deserved. I'm looking at some other comments. Definitely love playing underdog role. What's up, Zach? What's up, Big Old Titan? Big Old Titan said, pay the king. So, obviously with that. But again, from 1 to 10, what do you think? 1 being, let him walk after this year. 10 being, pay the man. Deal's done. We're good. Make sure y'all get those likes up too. The likes and them loves. Make sure y'all get those up as well and everything. Make sure y'all continue to share this show out. But we'll get back to those comments as y'all posted in about Derrick Henry. But now let's see. We got a couple coming in here. AZ Mix saying 8. Joseph Rodriguez, welcome back after a little small hiatus. He's giving it a 6. Zach Carpenter says 7. P. Hicks says it will get done. So I'm guessing that's a 10. What's up, P? LGRW, wow, the lowest one so far. He says a 4. He's saying a 4. LG, why don't you tell me why you're saying 4? Parrish is coming in with an 8. P. Hicks, of course, is saying 10. Drumstar, 5. I'm gonna be like a lot of other people will be when you're judging. Don't be at a 5. It's either a 4 or a 6. Pick a side, whether you think it's gonna get done or not. Come on, Drumstar, work with me. Wow, Derek Roberts going even lower than that, saying a 2. Now I know some of y'all are probably just being silly, but I know probably a lot of y'all are actually being honest, and that's what we want: honest opinions. We want the truth, and I will of course give my thoughts on that as well. Me personally, I am going to say I'm going and see on Facebook. Let's see on Facebook we have and on Facebook I know somebody gave a comment. I'm trying to actually get to the group to give that thought of that right there. Let's see. Also, sorry about that. That's Daryl. Let's see. Daryl John on Facebook saying a 7. On Facebook. I'm sorry, y'all. It's actually showing me talking at the same time. So I can't get to your Facebook comments unless you get permission to give your name. But I see it. I'll just say on Facebook. Shout out. Looks like 4 could let's see. Drafted for this year. I'm not sure on Facebook who was saying that, but they're saying a 4. I'm going with a 7. I'm going to say 7, and here's why. I think a deal will get done, but it's not going to be as much as he would want. It's definitely not going to be 16. I think it's going to be somewhere around, I think it's definitely going to be somewhere around 13 and a half to 14 at the most. I think that's where the middle ground is going to say. And let's see, LGRW says, I'm saying 4 because I think we will prioritize Clowney. Now, I see your point there. I definitely see your point with that. Derek Roberts says running back contracts usually turn ugly. And we were talking about that earlier. So that's a valid point. Those are very, very valid points indeed. Running back contracts do go bad right after you sign them. But I think with Derrick Henry, with his work ethic, he has stayed predominantly healthy throughout his career. Now, the last couple of years, he has at least missed one game, but he hasn't missed like multiple games or anything like that. I want to say the Houston game, I think they just kept him out, because he was literally hurt. The Saint game, I think, was a precaution with that. So they didn't want to risk it because the Texans had already won the division. If the division was still on the line, I think Derrick Henry plays against New Orleans. So I definitely could see that. But I do see where Derek Roberts is saying, because we were just talking about that. Todd Gurley, Zeke, Le'Veon Bell bet on himself. Now, he's probably not very happy in New York. Melvin Gordon sat out the majority of the season thinking he was going to get 10, 11, 12 million. And now he's taking around 7, 8 million to join the Broncos. So I could see where they say, you know what? We'll just franchise him this year, franchise him next year, and then we can let him go after that. I could see that being a strategy, and I could see that happening because running back is a very replaceable position. And you just heard that with Andrew Siciliano. 409 touches, including the playoffs. That's a lot of carries. That's a lot of carries. Plenty. So, You know, you got Darrington Evans to back him up. So it could be time to start looking at the future after this year with Derrick Henry. Love Derrick Henry, love the King, but I'm going to say a 7. I think a deal gets done, but it might be a short-term deal. Maybe a 2 or 3 year deal at the most. It's definitely not going to be a 4 or 5 year deal, but I think it'll be a 2 to 3 year deal. Maybe they could get out after 1, but it would not start until next season because he already signed his franchise tag. So he's getting the $10 million this year anyway, and then any contract that he does, I believe, begins the following season, so it doesn't affect Clowney, I don't think. Jameson says, J-Rob has done a good job on contracts because the players for the Titans get taken care of, and the Titans do not get caught holding the bag. Valid point. So I go with a 7 as well. But our usual friend, Mr. Adam Rank, did it again with his disrespect. He did it again, talking bad about the Tennessee Titans and the record. And I'm just going to give this PSA right now before I actually play this. I want to say I'm sorry. I am sorry ahead of time for what you are about to listen to. But this is our usual friend, Mr. Adam Rank, the same Adam Rank who predicted us to go 3-13 last year, is now saying this. And I'm going to have this coming on in just a bit. But I have it where it's right at where he talks about the Tennessee Titans. So I apologize ahead of time.
Time now for the Tennessee Titans, a team that finished 9-7 once again in 2019, but did make a miracle run to the AFC title game. What's in store this year? Well, they open on the road in Week 1 at Denver on Monday Night Football. We love Drew Lock. We love what the Denver Broncos have this season, so I have the Titans dropping that game. They're home the following week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that is in a state of flux. They got rid of a lot of defensive players from last year or the last couple of years. So the Titans should be able to handle them, but the Titans go back out on the road, and they got to go face the Minnesota Vikings, another team that has a lot of transitional parts, still trying to find themselves, but I like the Vikings to take that one. The Titans are back home for 2 back-to-back tough games against the Steelers, who I have as the number 1 seed in the AFC this year. So I have the Steelers winning this one. The Buffalo Bills, who were in the playoffs last year with 10 wins, got Stephon Diggs in the offseason. I have the Bills winning that one as well. So now you look at the Titans. They've started off 1-4, similar to last year when they were 2-4. And speaking of which, they're 2-4 with the win over the Houston Texans, and now they're 2-4 going into the bye week. Historically, the Titans are very good after the bye week. They've won their last 4 games after the bye. They got the Cincinnati Bengals. They should be able to handle them. So they move on. They play host to the Chicago Bears. That is a game that they should win. Week 10, the Colts possibly looking ahead. They've got some other things on their mind. The Titans win that game. So now, similar to last season, the Titans are on a little bit of a run here. Perhaps that Ryan Tannehill magic is working itself once again, but in Week 11, you got to go on the road. You got to play the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are much too tough. They're a better team. I understand last year the Titans were the team that knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs. That's kind of why they're going to be ready for you in this one. I have the Ravens winning in Week 11. Week 12 should be another tough one as you're on the road facing your interdivision rivals, the Indianapolis Colts with Phillip Rivers. I got Rivers and company taking that one. Week 13, this is going to be an important game as you guys are jockeying for playoff position. The Cleveland Browns, much improved with head coach Kevin Stefanski, but the Titans should have enough to win that game, except you go on the road the following week. The Jacksonville Jaguars, probably not going to have a lot of success, but this is a big rivalry game. I'm bummed that this one is not on Thursday night. I have my friends down in Duval County winning that game, but you know what? You put it all together. You beat the Lions in Week 15. You go on the road to face the Green Bay Packers in Week 16. Drop that one. And then finally, against the Houston Texans with a chance to level up. You beat the Texans. You finished 8-8. You're just outside of the playoffs. I know a lot of people.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I might regurgitate listening to all of that crap. So, that is our, of course, esteemed idiot of NFL Network, Adam Rank. And again, I don't know how this guy still has a job. I don't know. I don't get it. NFL Network, fire this clown. This idiot doesn't know what he's talking about. He had us going 3-13 last year and thought was being funny by doing that. This year now he has us at 8-8, finishing 8-8. So, you know what that tells me? That tells me the Tennessee Titans are going to win the division. The Tennessee Titans are going to win the division, probably win a couple playoff games, maybe win a playoff game or two, and get back to the AFC Championship. Might as well say we're going to the Super Bowl. Because if he said 3-13 last year, and we got all the way to the AFC Championship, he has us at 8-8 this year, we might as well just go ahead and try to win the whole thing. That would really mess him up. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some of those games that, might be right. Splitting with the Colts, okay. I get that. Possibly sweeping Houston, I get that too. Splitting with the Jaguars, I just don't understand. Now, obviously, he's a fan of Duval. So he obviously likes Duval. He obviously likes Pittsburgh a lot too. So that's something there. But I think he could have did a little bit better than 8-8. I have us going right now 11-5, realistically 10-6, winning the division. So, I mean, I just thought some of how he was doing it was a bit on the garbage side. I thought it's Adam Rank, y'all. I take it with a grain of salt and I just throw it away because he stinks. He sucks. He's terrible at his job. And, I mean, it's pathetic. Very much pathetic. I mean, he has us going 8-8. He has the Texans going 6-10. He has the Jaguars going 3-13, one of those wins against us, and has the Colts basically on a roll at 8-3, and then ends up, I want to say 10-6, winning the division. So he's obviously loving the Colts with old man Rivers back there. You know, it is a better offensive line, and a lot of the weapons that they stole from us. So we'll definitely see. I hope Adam Rank is wrong again. As Paris said on the comment earlier, to Zeke's defense, the Cowboys tried to pass too much. They should have gave him the ball last year. Agree. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. LGRW says running back is replaceable, but is Derrick Henry replaceable? The other running backs aren't close to his size, and he's faster than most. Good point. Very good point. On Facebook you says it depends on Clowney. Yes, it will be short term. I do agree with that. LGRW says, I'm not mad at 8-8 because we knew he would give us a bad record. The part that baffled me was when he said Henry has been ran into the ground. Zeke from the same draft has about 500 more touches. That's because he catches the ball out of the backfield too. Facebook you says, real question. We were 1-4 with Mariota. What would the record with Mariota have been if he stayed all year? Well, I guarantee you it probably wouldn't have been 9-7. It probably would have been more towards 7-9. Tannehill and Derrick Henry got us in the situation where we're in the playoffs. Marcus Mariota was not getting us to the playoffs this year. Let's just be real. And I love Marcus. Even though I turned on him, I still love him. But he wouldn't have got us to the playoffs. Oh, man. So, I, 8-8, And as my esteemed friend, Joseph Rodriguez has definitely said, hold on a second. Got to do one.
And all of you are on it. You know what? You just made the list. Brace Face in row 12 is now on the list. Enzo and Big Cass, you're on the list. Oh, yeah?
Now, for Adam Rank, being the idiot that he is,
You think so? Huh?
Here it is.
Our friendship, you know what? You just made the list. Oh, no.
There it is. Right there. Adam Rank, you just made the list. You stupid idiot. You got that right. Thank you, Joseph, for that. Stupid idiot indeed. I had to do that, y'all. Courtesy of the one and only, the Painmaker, Chris Jericho. La champion. As he Paris says, with 7 teams in the playoffs, we made it at 8-8. True, I forgot about that. Now an extra team can get in, so we technically could get in at 8-8. P. Hicks says Adam is trash. More like it. Keep doubting. Let's see. Jameson says King Henry, at that size and speed as a running back, and the productivity is hard to replace. True. Facebook, of course, says, yeah, he loves the Broncos too. Yeah. I mean, Drew Lock hasn't started a full season yet. He only started like 2 or 3 games. He only started 2 or 3 games last year, and all of a sudden he's saying, we love Drew Lock. Drew Lock is the next big thing. He's only started 2 or 3 games. Ain't done nothing. LGRW said, with Mariota 6-10, we'd have lost to the Colts, Raiders, and Chiefs. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. And see, with Mariota, the 91-yard touchdown pass to Brown would have been a safety. Yep, that's true. That would have been true. Let's see. Jameson says, why does this, excuse the language, jack off, get the airtime to spread this stupidity? No idea. There's a lot of stupid idiots out there. Just like that idiot from First Thing First, that dumb show. Matter of fact, the dumb show.
You just made the list.
That would be for Nick Wright.
You just made the list.
That's for First Thing First. Make the list all together. Plain and simple. So that's what I think about Adam Rank and his stupid rankings. He has some dumb ones, though, to be perfectly honest. But now, y'all, enough stupidity for one day. Let's do a little pick my brain. Pick my brain. I want y'all to get me some questions. Let's have a little fun and everything. And see, while y'all come up with some good questions, I'm gonna see if we can have a little fun here tonight. But I just, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me tonight. Thank everybody for keeping up and watching and everything with that. I know a lot of people got some stuff going on a Wednesday. Of course, later on, our Fun Facts series comes to an end. Got definitely some good stuff coming up, some ideas that I have coming up. A new show for Titans and Truth. A new show concept is in the works. Is in the beginning stages of getting worked on. Basically going to be focusing on all Tennessee sports, talking about the Vols, talking about Vandy, talking about the Predators, talking about the Grizzlies, the Memphis Tigers, maybe even throwing a little MTSU in there as well. So definitely got that possibly coming around the bend very soon. Like I said, it's still in the beginning stages, kind of getting some format and some stuff put together. So stay tuned for that. Definitely coming. And also, I'm looking at possibly putting together some Titans and Truth gear again. Try to see about getting some shirts and some hoodies made. Maybe I get some hats made, and maybe that's something that I could maybe we could give away or you could purchase as well. So we got something like that coming on around the bend with that. So definitely some stuff coming up there. James says, no way in hell we are going 8-8 or we're losing to those lame Jags. Agreed. I don't think we lose to the Jags once. I think we sweep them both. Let's see. So, yeah, I'll give you some questions. Give me a few questions. Let me see what y'all want to know. Reggie B, what's going on with you? Definitely. Paris said Baker Mayfield all over again with Drew Lock. Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to give a little bit too much hype to Drew Lock already. Now, agreed, Drew Lock has a lot of weapons around him. He has a lot of weapons to work with. He's got Melvin Gordon. He's got Philip Lindsay. He's got Jerry Jeudy. He's got KJ Hamler and Cortland Sutton. Not to mention he also had Noah Fant as well. So, I mean, he's got weapons. And now on defense, of course, you got Von Miller, Jarrell Casey, Bradley Chubb. So they do have some – they have a nice little team they put together out there. So that first game, I know it's not going to be easy, but it's still a game that I think we have a good chance to win. So that's something that I'm really thinking about. Derek Roberts coming in and says, how do we get Henry to start fast for the first time ever? That is an excellent question. Now, we know Derrick Henry is the type of back that, he usually doesn't start. He starts slow in games, but the more carries you give him, the better he gets as the game goes on. So I think that's something that we have to look at. But, I mean, yeah, he needs to start off fast in the beginning of the season and let that carry all the way through to the end of the season. I think just getting off to a good start. Just definitely make sure everything is in sync in the beginning. And stuff like that. That's something that's going to have to be done to get Derrick Henry off to a good start to begin the year and begin games, because that has been an issue. I definitely agree. Thomas Pritchard, what's going on? Coming in says, what do you think the record is going to be? I have said some early predictions of 11-5. Right now, I'm going to go realistically. I'm going to say 10-6 division champs. That's what I'm looking at right now. But I guarantee you, probably before the season starts, maybe about a week or two before the season starts, I will have my game-by-game prediction that I do every year, my one and only prediction show where I go game by game. I pick the wins and losses. So that's definitely going to be coming. Reggie B said that defense going to come for us. I mean, yeah, Broncos might try to come for us, but we got to be ready for it. Let's see. Reggie B says Bronco defense is going to try to shut us down with Casey being mad. True. They're going to try, and they may fail at that attempt. What is your feeling on trading Jarrell Casey? Yeah, definitely, Thomas. It hurt my heart when I first heard it, but I definitely understand. Definitely understand. If you go back after the show, I want you to go back and listen to last week's show because that was something that was talked about. I want to say, yeah, last week's show, we talked about the Jarrell Casey where he came out and made comments on the McCourty Twins podcast. So definitely take a listen to that. Let's see. Let's see. Joseph says, waiting for the new show. Is it possible we can sweep the AFC South? I'm not going to say we're going to sweep the AFC South. I think we'll sweep the Jags. I think we can. I think we'll honestly I think we have a chance to sweep the Texans. And I think we'll split with the Colts. That's what I think could happen, but I could see where we sweep the Jags and split with the Colts and Texans and go 4-2 in the division. Let's see. Paris says, who's going to tackle Henry Brown or Jonnu? I don't know. People are going to try. But as the game goes on, it's going to be difficult to do that. Pete Hicks says, how do you feel about Adam Humphries this year? I think he could have a better year than he did last year. I think this was his first year getting his feet wet in a new system and things like that. And Tannehill has to get used to him as well. So I think that, now having somewhat of an offseason, them talking and conversing, and now that Tannehill is back in Nashville, they can work together and get some continuity going there. I think Adam Humphries can have a little bit better of a year on that. So I'll see if one more question comes through, and then we're going to go into the fun fact series as we get ready to wrap up the show. So I can take one more question, and then we'll go from there. But once again, y'all, some big things are definitely coming up, so be patient. Definitely stick with me. Some good things are definitely coming, and I guarantee you are not going to regret it. But like I said, I'll get one more question to come through. But as we do that, let's see. LGRW says, Chris Sims said, let's see, Ryan Tannehill, one of the best pure throwers in the game, one of the best deep balls. I have seen that. And see, on Facebook says Humphries was hurt too, but you've seen him get better, especially in the playoffs. That's true. And he is a good safety blanket on third down. That much is a fact. But let's go into our last fun fact series as we get into our last draft pick, and that is going to be 7th round draft pick Chris Jackson, defensive back from Marshall, 6 foot, 185 pounds. He was the last draft pick the Titans had in the draft. And he could play some corner. He could also play some safety. And he's already said, hey, I'm definitely ready to help out on special teams. So here are some fun facts about Chris Jackson. And let me see. Give me just a second. I am pulling up something for you. Y'all give me just a moment. But yeah, Chris Jackson has a little bit of a trap background, which we'll definitely get into and talk about. So, there we are. There we are. There he is, Chris Jackson, 7th round pick out of Marshall. And so here are some fun facts about him that we got going on. As Joseph Rodriguez says, it's something Adam had the ankle injury. We needed him at the end. Well, he did try to help in the playoffs a little bit, but the injury happening was a little bit bad for him. But here's some fun facts about Chris Jackson. Here's fun fact number 1. He was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, ended up moving to Chicago, and then, of course, settling down in a little town called Midway, Florida, where he was raised by his grandmother, Miss Dolores Madison, after his mom had passed away while he was in elementary school. So he's moved around quite a bit. Was born in the North, but ended up living in the South. And fun fact number 2, he ended up going to FAMU, not the college. He ended up going to FAMU, Florida A&M University Development Research School. That is basically it was a high school. It was a kindergarten through 12th grade school, because some colleges have their own elementary school some junior high or high schools on their campus. The University of Memphis has an elementary school on their campus. But this school that he went to was kindergarten through 12th grade, and he ended up graduating in 3.5 years from FAMU High School, and where he was a Florida 2A All-State wide receiver and was a two-time state champion in track and field in the 110-meter hurdles, and also finished second in the 300-meter hurdles. So just like a lot of the other guys on the team, they have some track. They have some track background as well, and I've noticed that with a lot of the picks, a lot of the guys on the team have had some track background. We know that with Darrington Evans. We know that with Christian Fulton. Has some track background. Obviously, same thing with Chris Jackson. Cole McDonald has some track background as well. So that's something that's very, very interesting. Fun fact number 3 was that he committed to Marshall. He was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. He had some other scholarship offers from Appalachian State, where Darrington Evans went to school, Kent State, Troy, and of course, FAMU themselves. Fun fact number 4 was that he ran a 4.47 40-yard dash. So he does have some speed to him. And then fun fact number 5 was his connection to his former high school coach, Ira Reynolds, and veteran Thundering Herd defensive coordinator Chuck Heater. They were the connections that he had that basically paved his way to going to the university, to going to Marshall University. So Chris Jackson, 7th round pick. Those are some fun facts that come to him. Definitely willing to play special teams. He's already officially under contract already. So that is a good thing as well, that we already have him locked up. Let's see. Titans Mafia, what's going on with you? Welcome into the show. Thomas Pritchard said could be sneaky good. I'm thinking you're talking about Adam Humphries. Jameson with a question says, how do you feel about Nate Davis? How would he do in his second year? I think Nate Davis got better as the year went on. Definitely got it. Yeah, I had to get his feet wet, but he ended up definitely getting much, much better as the year went on. So, yeah, let me know in your comments what you think of the Chris Jackson pick and everything with that. But now we are gonna go to our final to our last spot of the to end the show with our blue bombshell. And I actually got 2 for you. And the first one has to do with Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, getting a 6-year contract extension. He had 3 years left on his current deal, but the 49ers decided they wanted to extend him after getting to the Super Bowl last year. So Kyle Shanahan got renewed for a 6-year deal. We do not know the terms of the money yet, but obviously Kyle Shanahan got paid. But the question is, did he deserve it? Because, yeah, you have a great year getting to the Super Bowl, nearly winning it, but now you got to follow that up. What happens if the 49ers go from the Super Bowl to finishing 9-7? Or they go and finish 6-10 because they had the hangover. Usually the teams that played in the Super Bowl the year before have a hangover and maybe are not as good the following year. So that's something that San Francisco fans might want to be concerned about. Titans Mafia says Chris Jackson has potential. Yes, he does. So, but it was very interesting. With 3 years left on the deal, they gave him a 6-year extension already. But hey, you got to the Super Bowl, so you kind of do deserve something. So good luck to Kyle Shanahan on that. But on a bad front, come to find out, we were talking about Zeke earlier. Zeke did test positive for COVID-19. So y'all need to be careful out there, because the more we hear about players coming out with the coronavirus, it puts the season in danger, in very real danger. So everybody, please wash your hands, wear a mask, because I've seen a lot of people right now, especially around Memphis, not wearing masks or anything. And I'm just thinking, come on, y'all. Y'all acting like this pandemic is over. This pandemic is far from over. Wear your mask. And if you don't have a mask, hit up my boy Azul Grande, a.k.a. Alejandro Torres, and get you a mask. He's got plenty of them for every team. He also has some for the Titans in Carolina blue and navy blue and white and the gray. Also in red. So definitely hit him up for that. As far as as far as getting a mask and protecting yourself. That's something that you definitely have to do, especially in this day and age, and with a possible second wave on its way in the fall. Okay? So please follow those rules, and that way everybody can be safe and we can all get back to the sports that we love to enjoy. Please do that for me. But yeah, but once again, everybody, make sure y'all share this show out to everyone. And once again, y'all know where to follow. Y'all know where to follow right there. At TNT Enforcers on Facebook, at Titans_in_truth on Instagram, on Twitter, at TNT Blue Enforcer. Y'all make sure you follow those channels for more content. But let's see. Joseph says, if we played Kyle in the Super Bowl 4 months ago, Mike Vrabel would have lit him up. Oh, you probably let's see. Oh, okay. He said if we played San Francisco in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So that would be something interesting. But y'all, I think that will just about do it for tonight's show. I thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. Make sure y'all share this show out to everybody. Definitely big shout out again to everybody, to Titans Mafia, to Thomas Pritchard for coming in, for Al Pierce being here, Titan Upload coming on in. I understand you were with the kids and with the family. I appreciate you. Definitely shout out to Mr. Titan and everything. Probably in the next week or two, I will be joining Hawk and Jacques on Tennessee Titans Weekly coming up. So that's definitely going to be there very, very soon. But I thank y'all very much for sticking with me tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. And as always, and I'm going to play a new thing that I really like. And some of y'all might laugh at me on this, but got to show some love to Miss Bailey. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. If y'all missed any part of the show, go back and watch it. It'll be up. Make sure y'all let me know what you think. Comment, share, and subscribe to that channel. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, where have you been? We're closing in on 600 subscribers. I want to get up to 1,000 by the beginning of the season. So I need y'all to spread that word like a fire. Get it out to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Good night, y'all. Tighten up. and let's all be role models.